Welcome all to the very first edition of Blackthorne's Bog. I myself am your host, Brian Blackthorne, right here on YouTube. Thank you all for joining me. You may address me as Brian Blackthorne. It matters not. I am here because I love professional wrestling more than you will ever know. And honestly, it feels good to be from the mecca of professional wrestling, that is Chicago, Illinois, that has allowed me to witness countless moments, events, matches, stories that have felt all too perfect and powerful. Wrestling is where the real life superheroes live out their wildest dreams, and I need to be part of that. And in doing so, I'm taking y'all with me. It all began when I was maybe a toddler, definitely past the crawling stage. I was kind of having a fit, and my older sister, who was babysitting me at the time, decided to throw on some wrestling because South Park just wasn't working right then and there at the moment. And one of the first images I saw was New Jack diving off of stuff, and that you can't tell me that there's anything fake about gravity. And honestly, my eyes were glued, and then off that old this is a while ago before cell phones and all that. But basically we had this black box, and it allowed us to watch all the pay-per-views. And, I was just a little kid at the time. Whatever. Anyways, I watched countless events at any chance I got. And beyond New Jack's dive, the first real match I remember watching was Kane ripping off the door in the very first Hell in a Cell match. Yeah. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. And honestly, I was convinced that monsters were real when I saw that. And like I said, wrestling is real. People are fake. But there was nothing more real than that moment. Kane just coming out through the hellfire and brimstone after all that time with Paul Bearer saying, "Oh, yes, Undertaker, you will burn, just like your brother." Or whatever, Rest in peace. Blessings. Then after that match came the real Hell in a Cell moment, with Undertaker tossing Mick Foley right off the top of the cage. Oh my goodness. At that point, maybe in kindergarten, and I was terrified, shocked, and awed, and I kept telling myself, even if I can't be the guy getting tossed or doing the tossing off the top of that cage, I need to be there. Yeah. I need to be there. And pretty soon after, I witnessed my very first professional wrestling event. It was SmackDown 2001. And fun fact, it just so happened to be the final SmackDown where Stone Cold Steve Austin walked in and out as the WWE champ. Yeah, that was a tremendous show. It was the end of the initial Kiss My Ass Club. The Rock just grasping Vince McMahon, plunging Vinnie Mac's face into the ass. The deep abyss of Rikishi. Yeah, the Brothers of Destruction in action. Man. Yeah. Kane and Big Show against the Dudleys, and then Undertaker at Wild and Out. Those were the days. Man. And the main event, there's never been that much star power in my life since then. It was Kurt Angle and Chris Jericho teaming up against Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. Man, just the entrances alone was electric. Just me, I was 8 years old, just holding my little Attitude Era belt with the, I think it had the eagle on it. Yeah, it was that last edition before the Undisputed belt had dropped. And man, to this day, no matter what it is, I'm getting old, man. And honestly, wrestling is the one thing that keeps me going. And especially with that main event, man. Austin, Rock, Kurt Angle, Y2J. All those guys together. And then 20 years later, all those guys are Hall of Famers. And only one of them is still wrestling. And even he's having some of the best years of his life. I mean, let's face it, right after that SmackDown, he became the very first Undisputed Champion, Y2J, Chris Jericho. I'm forever grateful to have been part of that moment. Complete with that whole Creed tribute to Austin. Enjoy yourselves. But man, wrestling has never been bigger. In the sense to where people may be watching television differently, but at the same time, there's never been more companies and there's never been more people wanting to get their slice of the pie. I don't even think they want the pie. They just need to let you know, that they're there. Man, it's tremendous. It's a tremendous time, man. And currently, I haven't been this excited since I was a kid. Even though I have kept up since I was maybe 4. I'm getting up there, man, but I love it. And so, man, wrestling's just a place where legends never die. And honestly, I'm happy to have been part of these events because we got to see legendary performers. And it hits me, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, because 20 years ago, I saw Austin the very last time he wrestled, called as the WWE champ, right? This last Labor Day weekend, I was amongst the last people to have ever seen the Briscoe brothers as the Game Changer Wrestling Tag Team Champions of the goddamn world. They may have lost that night, but what better way to do it than a double steel cage fatal 4-way death match? Guys, wrestlers are the real life superheroes, and seeing a guy like Jay Briscoe and his brother Mark, those guys were literally the bushwhackers if man, and the bushwhackers don't even want none of the Briscoes. That's all I'm going to say at that point. But so much action even then at Game Changer Wrestling and whatnot. Even if you don't agree with everything a company does, the action, the stories, the characters, everything has its own flair. Woo! Have I introduced you guys to Craig yet? Yeah, nobody wants to get caned by Craig, but Craig's a good boy. But yeah, it's been a lot, and I'm happy that wrestling has kept me going, man. There's nothing like it. It is the one place where legends never die. They just get bigger with time. And let's fucking go. I will be attending some events in the near future. Recently, I was at the GCW Save Me event at the Talia Hall. And man, if you look on Fight TV, I believe there's footage of me falling through somebody's chair trying to get the hell out of the way. Hey, during I think it was Homicide's match. I don't care, man. I love wrestling. I love it. And I'm happy you guys are going to be here with me. I can't wait to share even more stories with you. Enjoy yourselves.